Clara Schumann was one of the most extraordinary women of her time. She lived in the 1800s. She was a wife and mother of quite a few children, and she was a child prodigy. Her father took her on the road performing piano from a very young age. And I believe when she was 11 years old, a man by the name of Robert Schumann came to their house to study with her father, and she and Robert developed a romance. Her father did not approve of this romance, but they persevered, and it was one of the great love stories of that time.
Robert Schumann was a composer, also was a writer, and a famous figure as well in Romantic Germany. And so they fell in love, and they became this power couple of German music and writing.
They were married for quite some time before another young man came into their lives, Johannes Brahms, who was very young, new on the scene. In fact, Robert and Clara both were wildly impressed with his talent, and Robert really promoted him, and he became one of the most important composers of the Romantic era.
From what she leaves us really, really wonderful composition. It's a rare thing to have a woman that was a really working artist back then, and she was a really successful and talented one, leaving behind a lot of really meaningful art and music.
It's a fantasy of Clara Schumann's life. It's not necessarily based on absolute real events, although it's all based on historical truths. It's a bit of a memory play. The piece actually begins with Clara at the piano playing Johannes Brahms' Opus 118, which he wrote for Clara Schumann when she was an older performer. She began to get arthritis in her hands, and it was not as easy for her to play any longer. And I think you can just hear every bit of love in every measure of that piece. We've divided the performance into 5 loose sections. We have their young love, where we see young Clara meeting Robert and all the excitement that is a part of a blossoming romance. Then we move into complication, where we start to see that all is not well with Robert's health, and it's not going to be an automatic happy ending for them. We meet Brahms and deal with adult love and the complications inherent when a trio of friends finds that there is love to go around amongst the 3 of them. And then we deal with the heartbreak on the other side. There came a point in Clara's relationship with Brahms very early on where it became clear that while they loved each other and respected each other very much, that Brahms was not willing to take it further. He would not consider marriage. And Clara, having recently lost her husband and now being faced with rejection from this man that she so admires and cares for, really dealt with a great deal of pain. But we chose to end it on a happy note, emphasizing the resilience in her life with this piece she wrote in the first year of her marriage, actually, Liebst du um Schönheit, where she says, "If you love me for beauty, don't love me. If you love me for wealth, don't love me. If you love me for youth, don't love me, because none of those things will last. But if you love me for love's sake, then know that I will always love you." And I think Clara Schumann chose love throughout her life. We decided when we began working on the project that Clara's personality was far too complex to limit her merely to just chamber music or just singing.
The music will be presented with the orchestra, which will be on stage, but will be kind of the backdrop of the action. Then we have the different characters. There is actually 3 Clara Schumann. We'll have the singer, Clara Schumann, which of course is the one that really tells the story. We have Clara Schumann as a pianist. As we know, Clara Schumann was a really great pianist. And we also will have Clara Schumann as a dancer, where we use a dance to express emotion and to move the story forward. And we also have a male dancer and male singer. So with these five characters, we'll be on stage telling the story through song, through music, and through movement.
I think a modern audience will certainly be able to identify with the plight of a harried woman with children, trying to do the best that she can in this world. I think the love story of Robert and Clara is one that anyone who's ever loved will understand. And I think what is a little bit more unusual is the bonus love affair or love experience that she has with Brahms. But I mean, what person doesn't want to believe in second chances and the possibility of finding love again? But most of all, I think they will be touched by this gorgeous music.